It's Saturday, the 18th of September already. And we're back at Adlington at White Bear Marina. Oh, mustn't grumble, still fine. Had a week on the hookup. No, a week and a bit, 10 days? I don't know, a long time anyway on the hookup. 12 days? I can't remember. Have a look at the dates. And so the batteries should be tip top. I'm still concerned about the alternator on there. There's two alternators on there, one that charges just the starter, and then a higher ampage one that is supposed to chuck loads of power into the leisure bank, and I'm not happy with it. I wasn't happy with the meter that I bought last time as well, so I've bought another meter just to double check, because what I wouldn't want to find is the test meter that I use wasn't measuring correctly, and then we spend 300 and something quid on a new alternator. That wasn't necessary. There's a few other checks that we're going to need to do first before we replace the alternator. But a week on electric, trickle charging and float charging and maintaining and all that sort of thing, the batteries is not going to hurt at all. So now we're going to fill up with some diesel, and what a beautiful day we've got. Welcome back. The journey continues. And we're off. 145 litres. Now the last time we filled up was Etruria, Stoke, and we've been up all the way to Llangollen and then back, and now up to here, which is like Bolton, whatever. I think that's pretty good going. I'm going to need to check the cruising log, but I think that is pretty excellent going. I used to say bargain on a litre an hour, and then I think as the engines got older, I was going to revise that to 1.5 litres an hour. And I know Jeff and Sandra queried the litre an hour assessment, but if it is a litre an hour, a litre and a half an hour, that means we've only done 100 hours cruising since leaving Stoke, Etruria. I'll have to have a little look later at the cruising log and see, but I think I'm happy with 145. Very happy with 145. Very happy with the view along the towpath at the moment as well. So I'm sorry, I said that last bit out loud. Now I've had to mute this, unfortunately, because as we were sailing past this party, they were playing something which apparently is copyrighted to someone else, and there's going to be a copyright claim. So I've had to recode the whole fucking video just to take that little bit of music out and have me waffling instead. Anyway, getting back to it, hopefully there's not enough music to have another copyright claim. That's nice. I like those little kind of community marinas where people kind of get on with each other. That's where Si and Dawn are. Down at Northampton's a little bit like that. There's somewhere, and I'm not mentioning any names, there's almost outright warfare. Some people local to Sheffield will know exactly what I mean. Oh wow, that's what we'll be doing over the next 3 or 4 weekends. 84.25 miles. Oh look, more eccentricity by canal. Sadly, I haven't got space to do something like that at Boathouse, but I do like the idea. better day, isn't it? Mind you, so have I. This is where I was going to book in for a service. In the end, it wasn't necessary. Oh, do you know, it's strange. It's 2 weeks. I'm counting it as 2 weeks. It's not really 2 weeks, but I'm counting it as 2 weeks. How easily you slip back into that. The immediacy of everyday modern life. And it's nice also to recognise how quickly one reaccustoms oneself to just drifting along on the cot. That's a nice little dovecot, look at that. Complete with artificial doves. If you hadn't nailed it to the perch, it would have been pushing up the daisies by now. Listen, if I hadn't nailed that dove to the perch, it'd have gone in that house and boom. Boom? That dove wouldn't go boom. No, stop it. Stop it now. That's silly. Stop it. See many old pumps like that. It's going to be fairly slow going today because of the amount of moored boats, but you know, I ain't bothered about that. It's a lovely day. It's not sunny, but it's not cold. There's no wind. It's just serene. And lovely to be back drifting along. Now, here's interesting. These are reasonably grand for little terraces. So they kind of like look like 2 up, 2 down. Quite a grand front door surround, and they've all got railings in front of them, which you can't quite. Well, it's nice and everything, but a bit weird as well. Pretty, I suppose, if you like those quaint little canal side. But why the railings? I don't know, it just seems unnecessary. Botany Bay. Really? It is, it says so. It's a sign back there. It says Botany Bay Visitor Moorings. I thought it was further on. Oh well. That's probably because I never know where the bloody hell I am. But I thought Botany Bay. It doesn't matter. We're at Botany Bay, and up there's a motorway and stuff. I've just checked. It's the M61 and an abandoned day boat. I got to admit, if it weren't for the fact of having to deal with the Canal and River Trust, which is a little bit, for me, I prefer to go to the dentist and not have an anaesthetic. I would like to run a little day boat like that in Sheffield. ANG passenger boats used to. They had an electric one called La Romantique, but it kept getting vandalised because they didn't have an offline mooring. But I think it would be nice to have on the Sheffield Canal, raise the profile a little bit. Need to be wheelchair accessible. Not sure how we'd manage that, but I just can't. I can't face the idea of dealing with the Canal and River Trust. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way, and so it will never happen. Oh, I guess this is Chorley then. Well, it looks like an old mill. with bits built onto it. Zoom out and we can have a better look at it. Here we are. Now, there's lots of these old buildings, these old mills and stuff. Going into Liverpool, when we went into Liverpool, you go past the old tobacco warehouse as you're just coming down through the first set of locks from Liverpool. No, I can't remember what it was. And hey, well, there you go. And we asked some of the locals, why on earth hasn't this been developed into, you know, luxury accommodation or beautiful canal side apartments? And they said because the floor to ceiling height is too low. It doesn't meet building regulations, and that, I'm guessing, is why quite a few of the old buildings, which I still think look, I mean, that doesn't look massively old. It's got some of those characteristics to it, I guess. Yes, it's certainly nicer than a lot of new buildings, but that's why a lot of the canal side properties haven't been redeveloped, whatever the term is, to form luxury canal side apartments, or, you know, have some other use. Which is a shame that those building regulations or the stipulations about floor to ceiling height mean that a lot of those buildings then fall into decay and cease to be. It is a shame. Anyway, there we are there. So we are. Chorley, Lancashire. First lock of the day. I think there's 6, maybe 7 in this flight. A couple of pretty girls there. I wonder if they're going to help us. Probably not. I wonder if this is where we are, Radburn Wharf. Wouldn't it be nice if there's a boat that's just come down for all of those locks? Well, this is very, very jolly, isn't it? Can't imagine either of these particularly cheap. That one especially. Even though it's one of those kind of new architectural, I'd actually quite like it. It's not as wank as lots of fairly new build canal side properties. It's very nice, and it's got air conditioning, even better. Now, that up there is the South Lancaster Canal, and the South Lancaster Canal would originally, I'm guessing, have been linked to the rest of the Lancaster Canal. I might be wrong. I might need to gargoyle that. But the only way to get to the Lancaster Canal nowadays, in modern times a days that we've got volunteers to help us, is by doing the Ribble link. Better stop filming. But rather sadly, there's another boat. I don't know where he's gone. I was waiting with the gates open because he said, oh, it's another boat coming. So about 5 minutes later, not that long, this boat appeared. I lined up in the lock nicely, space for them to come in, and they decided they didn't want to. Is that it over there? Yeah, so they've turned around and now they're going, which is a shame because these locks, and they're massive locks, and this flight was shut until, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago because there was a stoppage for some reason. And it's always nicer to go up these wide locks, these broad locks, with another boat, because it stops the front end of a narrow boat going like this as the various different sluices are opened. Well, and it saves water, which is, water at the moment is a big consideration. It always has been on the Leeds Liverpool. It's not as bad, it has to be said, as the situation currently on the Rochdale, which is dire. We would not have made it across the Rochdale if we'd just decided to go that way this summer. And it was a potential. We were going to do Rochdale, Leeds Liverpool and the Huddersfield Narrow, go zigzag across the top, but no, it's not happening. Right, Marley's about to get on board. Oh, that's now coming up to halfway up the 7 locks on Johnson's Hillock. And you know what? It's actually got good CRT volunteers. Very good CRT volunteers who actually ask which sluices would you prefer to be opened first, and they don't open them all fully, and they actually know what they're doing. Oh god, that is so lovely, and it helps obviously. So full marks to the volunteer lockies today on Johnson's Hillock. Full marks to that lockie. So that's Johnson's Hillock top lock, and that is it for today. Crumbs, we is now mooring up, and you see that's my treat for having to watch all that hard work on those locks. And guess what, it is just starting to rain, so more perfect timing we could not have had for when to moor up. So that's it. I'm going to crack that beer and do a closing piece. Ooh, what a lovely evening. Little bit of rain as we moored up, but not really enough, not to make your t-shirt wet anyway. And yeah, so we finished just after 5. It wasn't the longest day. Nice though. Yeah, it's all right here. Quite peaceful next to a road, but there's not a lot of traffic on it. And I've just been looking at the diesel thing again, and I only glanced briefly at because we had to do 2 lots of fill. It only goes up to 100 litres or 100 quid. 100 quid, something like that, and then we had to do it again. Anyway, we filled up, it was 159.47 litres, so say 160 litres we put in since we last filled up at Etruria Festival Park Marina. So now I need to just do the calculation and try and work out how many cruising hours we've had. It does look like it is going to be somewhere around 1.4, 1.5 litres per hour. But I should report back on that. Not today. I can't be bothered. I'm going to have a drink. Oh, let's have a little look. Oh, where we are. Top of Johnson's Hillock. And hopefully I'm fairly sort of, I have an equitable attitude towards Canal and River Trust volunteers. The guy, well, there was 2 of them, then one of them fucked off. But the guy who helped Charlotte through all of the locks, perfect. Can't fault him. Absolutely perfect. Everything you want, actually, in a volunteer. Courteous, knew what he was doing. Yeah, just perfect. Anyway, there we go. That's it for Saturday. Charlotte's gone back to get the car, which is only back at the marina where we came up from, so that won't take her too long. So that for now at wherever we are, Wheedon, at the top of Johnson's Hill Lock. That's it for today. Only a short one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Whatever you're doing, I mean, it won't be Saturday night. By the time you watch this, it'll probably be about a month's time, because I'm quite slow at uploading these. It's 18th of September. Whatever you're doing, do it safely. And cheers.